managerial accounting, costing systems. We're going to talk about process costing today, and really whether a manager is managing a job order cost system or a process cost system, the key question that they're trying to answer is, how much does it cost? And we know that the cost involved in making any product or service include three ingredients: materials, labor, and overhead. Now, when we make a product in a process costing system, we're making identical products. In other words, we're not customizing the product to a particular client or buyer. We're making a product and somebody will come and buy it. So I brought several examples today of water. And water used to be a commodity. And that commodity was, you could get water out of any drinking fountain. And now we have customized water to make it special. But we're going to use a process costing system for this water in our example, because we do long production runs and are these identical products, except they're in different types of bottles. And if you get very special, this one is from Italy, bottled at the source, whereas this one is bottled in Germany, and this one is bottled someplace, they don't say where. And this one is bottled in Florida at one of 3 different springs. You know what's interesting about these 4 types of waters? They're all owned by the same company. Nestle owns these 4 brands. I also have French water here, if you get special. And then we have water that's enhanced from Coca-Cola, which is Dasani. So these are all the different types of water. So whatever the type of brand, let's look at how we would track that in a process costing system. Now, in a process costing system, we have a work in process account for each department, whereas in job order costing, we had a work in process account for each job, the job order cost card. Well, here we have a department that makes bottle caps. We have another department that makes the plastic bottles. We have another department that refines and filters that natural spring water. And finally, we have a department that creates labels. And all of these have in them materials, direct labor, and overhead. Direct materials, direct labor, and overhead for the bottle. For water, the direct materials would be water, direct labor is the guys doing the filtering, and overhead. And again with labeling, direct materials, the blank label, direct labor, the printing of that label, and overhead applied. Now just remember, when I put overhead here, these are the overhead applied, because we're under still what? Normal costing. And this overhead amount could be determined either using the traditional 1 plant-wide rate, or I could use activity-based costing. Okay, so those assumptions still stay in place. Now, when all of these things are made, they're assembled together into a lovely bottle of water. So we're going to have what we call transferred in costs, transferred in. And those transferred in costs include materials, labor, and overhead from the previous departments transferring in. In assembly, we have no additional direct materials. We just have direct labor and overhead. When the bottles are assembled, they're like this. They then go on to the packaging department. So again, we have this transferred in cost, and that transferred in cost include all the previous departments, plus we have the packaging. These come in 6-packs, 12-packs, 34-packs, whatever they are. And so that's the packaging we're including, plus the labor, plus the overhead. And finally, at this point, is when we get the cost of the goods manufactured, because that's what comes out of the production process and goes into finished goods. So just like before, we can have finished goods in the warehouse, plus the cost of what we made this period, will give me the COGAS, what's available for sale. What shows up on the credit side is the cost of goods sold, and ending inventory is what's still in the warehouse.